Welcome back to Public Affairs on Peach. I'm Rebecca Schramm, and we are discussing autism and Autism Awareness Month this morning. And my guest for this segment is JJ Hurley. She is with Autism Speaks response team. So glad you could join us this morning.
Thank you
so want to ask you this because let's say you're a parent of a child who has a diagnosis of autism or Asperger's. It can throw you for a loop when you first hear those words.
Sure.
What do you want people to know about the resources available for this that they may not know about?
Sure. Well, Autism Speaks offers one of my favorite resources that we have for families is our 100-day toolkit, and it is designed to be a roadmap for parents who have a newly diagnosed child to kind of take them through those first 100 days after receiving the diagnosis. And what is so nice about it is it breaks it down in steps, so you're not getting so overwhelmed and Googling everything at 2 in the morning. This is say this week this is what we can focus on, and next week you can focus on this, and really breaks it down into more manageable steps. So I encourage any parent who has a newly diagnosed child to call us, and we can send them one of those toolkits. Another great resource, if your child is under the age of 3, you're able to work with Babies Can't Wait here in Georgia as the early intervention agency. And if your child is 3 or over, you can request an evaluation to receive special education services starting at age 3 under pre-K. So because that's another great resource.
I find that parents are just so, they just really need somewhere to start. Yes. They need some guidance, somebody to sort of guide them through this. Okay, I have this diagnosis, now what?
Now what?
And this actually helps them through it step by step.
Step by step, definitely.
That's awesome. Okay, so financially it can be a huge, huge burden. We were talking about 60 grand a year. Is that true?
That's the latest information that we have found. The cost can be absolutely exorbitant when you talk about medications, doctor's appointments, specialist visits, therapy that's not covered by insurance. We know families that have moved from the state of Georgia to find better care because that they weren't able to afford those therapy services here if they had an insurance issue. So there are things called Medicaid waivers that each state provides, and here in Georgia that's called the Katie Beckett waiver that families can look into for assistance. Autism Speaks also maintains a database of national grants that families can look into applying for if their insurance isn't covering therapies, but it certainly can throw you. We have parents call us and they're just very concerned. We just got this diagnosis and now I'm supposed to be paying all this money, and we were thinking we were just going to preschool and now we're having to pay for all of this. So it's important to really to look at those numbers and see what is available for you.
Because there is help out there.
There
you just have to know where to look.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as you know, parents will just do anything for their children. And sometimes if you have a child on the autism spectrum, you need some rest and attention, right?
Yes.
Is that something you just hammer home to these parents?
Absolutely. I can tell you I have a almost 12-year-old son with autism named Jackson myself, and I remember when he was diagnosed at age 2, another mom said to me, autism is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And I thought, okay, what does that mean? Well, I know what that means now. It is for the long haul, it is for the lifetime, and you can't just poop yourself out in the first year or so because trying to do all of this, because you have to take care of yourself. You can't, just like with the airplane analogy, you can't take care of your child if you aren't taking care of yourself. So there are services. Respite care is one thing that we always tell our parents to look at. That's usually covered by a Medicaid waiver. A friend of mine just opened a nonprofit called Caring for Caregivers. Even if there's 15 minutes of the day that you can just take for yourself to kind of recharge and just give yourself that time, because it really is a marathon, and there are things that you're going to need to be doing to continue to take care of your child.
This is something important that you and I were talking about. Once a person on the spectrum gets a little bit older, real quickly tell us, there are jobs that these kids can get that can really change their sense of self. Tell me real quickly about that.
Yes. So Autism Speaks, we encourage you to work with your state's vocational rehab, but we have also opened something that's amazing. It's called the spectrumcareers.com, and it is like a monster.com type website. So employers, business owners who want to employ persons with autism can register, and then persons with autism can upload their resume, and that's a great way to connect and find employment.
And this is so important.
It really is.
So important. So as we look at our screen, I want people at home to be able to see how they can contact excuse me, your organization. So tell us about that real quick.
Correct. So I encourage anyone who has questions, who is looking for any of these resources we discussed, to call the Autism Response Team. It is a free service for our families, and you can reach us at the number and the email there. We also have a bilingual coordinator, and that number is 888-772-9050.
And all of this is on your website.
All of this is there.
Fantastic. JJ, excellent information.
Thank you so
much. And our discussion on autism is going to resume after the break when we talk to a man who took rejection and turned it into opportunity for people on the autism spectrum. Stick around for that.